Hello people, good morning. In my last recording I said I'd come back and give my interpretation of what energetic energy is. This is my interpretation in terms of my understanding. Other people might experience energetic energy differently to my expression for myself now. So for me, energetic energy is a part of your untrained imagination. So for example, if you're in a race, for example, you would obviously want to win that race, you would imagine yourself from the start of that race, say it's a 100-meter track race, and you would imagine yourself at the end of that race being in front and winning, so that is you using your energetic imagination to actually win the race. It's about putting yourself in the mindset to actually achieve. Another example would be, for example, you're going for an interview. Obviously, you want to give a good impression to the interviewer. So before you go to that interview, or on the way, or even in the reception, you would sit and imagine yourself performing really quite well in that interview. So that is energetic. It's about projecting yourself before a situation occurs. For example, your interview, or for example, the race that you're going to hopefully win. It's about putting yourself in that mindset. It's energetic energy. It's also energetic energy. It's about directed, intended energy. And now this is something that I have not done myself. I don't see the reason why I should put myself in this position. This, for me, this is where witchcraft plays a major part in disrupting somebody's life. But it's about directed, intended energy. So you would focus on a particular situation in your life, and you would try and project that energy onto that object in terms of what you're experiencing. Energetic energy is the connection between the spiritual realm and the material world and other dimensions. The light and the dark exists within these dimensions, and it is imperative that your understanding takes into reality that the dark incorporates witchcraft, spiritual warfare, and will always interfere, have a negative effect on the chosen and individuals of the light. I was in a conversation with somebody that I suspected being an energy vampire. I said to this person, "What do you know about energetic energy?" This person then tried to give me an interpretation of them not knowing what they were talking about, but yet this person was always in my aura. I had to do a cord cutting process to reduce the amount of times this person was in my aura. And exactly what I had to do is this cord cutting at least 3 times until it actually stopped. I can't stress enough that people, and I don't want to make people paranoid because I'm not paranoid, but I'm being real to myself. In terms of my experiences throughout the awakening, particularly since my awakening, I have been supported to have an understanding in terms of where I had gone wrong, where my understanding in terms of my interaction with others failed me. I have now started to update how I respond to others. And people, I'm going to have to say this. Most chosen ones, they have a kind heart. They like to be of help or support to other people. They will support people in any way possible. But in doing so, sometimes can actually bring us into harm's way. My understanding now is that the majority of people that had been in my life had some sort of envy, vendetta against me. And now I have removed myself from these people. And now I am starting to respond differently from this point going forward. But at the same time, for these people that were trying to hold me back, I wasn't really doing anything because that's not in my heart. That's not who I am. But actually now, enough is enough. Enough is enough for me and for you. If you experience the same thing as I have over a long period of time, enough is enough. I've done nothing wrong to anybody. I just want to live a nice, peaceful life. And if I'm able to help others out of a predicament they're in, or whatever circumstances that they're having problems with, that's even spiritually, I'm open to that. I would welcome that. But what I will not do now is sit back and let other people try to interfere with my life that I've done nothing to. So in that respect, I'm starting to change. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be venomous against other people, but I am now starting to protect myself in ways that will not bring any harm onto other people, but, to protect myself from the evil eye or from spells that people put me through. And that's about putting myself through a routine every morning, which I'm still in the process of compiling now. But, enough is enough. We're in a new era now going forward. And it's about time that these people, these witches, these warlocks, these spirits of delay or spirits of deceit or whoever they relate themselves to, it's about time now that they are taken for count to task in terms of their actions towards other people, because their actions are wrong, their actions are nasty, their actions are evil. And this is where it comes into energetic energy, and this is how they are able to undertake their deceitful, disgusting behavior. Somebody who I listen to on a regular basis calls these people cockroaches, and they're cockroaches. Energetic energy initially can cause some sort of memory interference, memory loss. This is my experience. So I would have an experience and I would try and recall what I've done. And I'm talking here about a download. I would have a download and it would be clear what the download would consist of. But maybe 5 minutes after that download, although it comes back, I would forget completely. And I would just have to go and do something different instead of focusing on that download that I've had. And it would eventually come back. But over time, this memory interference, memory loss will eventually come back, or it will eventually improve. So a memory interference loss is an experience encountered with energetic energy initially. This will improve over time. For energetic energy to have an impact, for energetic energy to impact your experience, you have to believe in what you see. You have to believe in what your body tells you. You have to believe what you are experiencing is your experiences, and that you evidence and you actually live that experience. Energetic energy is a part of our functioning that we have not developed. And I think as time goes on, as the awakening experience becomes more widely known, this is when energetic energy will actually start to come into its own. But energetic energy, for me, is what I've just expressed now. So this is going to be quite a quick recording, really. I've got to go out today and do quite a lot of weeding to my ginger that I planted some time ago. But for me, this is what excuse my handwriting, this is what I've put together in terms of my experience, in terms of energetic energy. So I'm going to go through it the best way I can. So I'm not even sure what this chart is actually called, but it must be called something. It's been over 45 years since I've been at school, so please forgive me. So I've got here energetic energy in the middle of the paper, and on top of that I've got an arrow pointing to imagination, and on top of that another arrow saying that energy awakening, once you are aware, there is no going back. So once you start to experience energetic energy, it's like saying light and the dark. You don't know what light and dark is, but once you experience what light and dark is, there's no going back. You can't then say you weren't aware. And this is what the awakening process, the awakening journey is all about. It's about education. It's about education of self. And once you start to engage in the awakening process, you actually start to, although initially at first you think, is this real or is this not real? But it's something that is happening to you. So you can't then go back and say, I wasn't aware, because the awakening process makes you aware, which is why it's called the awakening process. So once you were aware of a particular situation, you can't go back. It's like going out and passing your driving test and then saying you can't drive, you don't know how to drive. It's impossible. So this is what energetic energy is. So this is just an example of what energetic energy is. I haven't put anything of my own experience in here, because people have access to your recordings, so you don't really want to put in your recordings what is actually happening to you to a greater degree. But you know, to be quite honest, I have put in my recording something that has happened to me, but that's long gone now. So nobody's going to be able to listen to my recordings and say, I'm going to try and do this on him, because what I've experienced was a while ago, and I've moved on from that point now. So I suppose what I'm really trying to say here is be careful about what you record, because you don't know who has got a vendetta against you, and that could be anybody. And I've said this before, it could be your brother, your sister, your mum, your dad, your best friend, your wife, even your own children. Even your own children, and although that is upsetting, you will eventually get over that. So to the right hand side, coming off energetic energy, I've got another circle, and that's got self energy. And coming off that, I've got I am light, my spirit, core energy. Who am I? Excuse me. I am chosen. Integrity, authenticity, healer, love. So these are definitions that can actually come off a circle. So whoever or whatever you're experiencing, or whoever you want to be, you can actually put this in a chart, and then learn from what you've actually put about yourself in order to develop as you go forward energetically. So the next circle, I've got projected energy, where your energy goes. So, for me, it's about being positive. It's about your core self in terms of your energetic energy. The next circle I've got here is intended energy. My energy is for. So whatever you view your energy being utilized for, it's about making sure that you record that, and you can go back at some points in time, maybe every month, every 2 months, and start to look at your energy and where it is gone, or what it is for. So this is all about energetic energy, and this is only a simplified example of what energetic energy is. And I've got the next one within the circle, negative energy, spell casting, and this is where witches, warlocks, demonic entities. This is where they are able to start to interfere with other people's lives by focusing their energy on a particular person in a particular way to try and disrupt that person's life. On the whole, they're really quite successful. The person that I was talking to, they tried to fob me off by saying they think that it is a form of projecting their energy onto someone else, but put it in a really quite clumsy way that would put me off my sense of who I thought or I think they are. Energetic energy is something that can come back on an individual having directed their energy negatively onto someone else and causing them harm, which is called karma. It is really quite hard, difficult to believe that there are people like this out walking amongst us, causing havoc, causing harm, not only to individual people, but also families energetically. You know, I sat some time ago when I was thinking about energetic energy and looking at my experience of being a victim of witchcraft. And I was thinking, and it brought me to tears, to be quite honest with you. I was thinking, why would anybody want to be so harmful and so disgusting towards another individual, another human being? But you know, if you look at the way people are, the way people actually present themselves, and then to think about some of the things that, if it comes to light, what they're actually doing, and look at that person and think, you would not believe by looking at this person that they would cause so much havoc to an individual's life or even a family's life. It is upsetting. It is very upsetting. And it makes you look at people really quite differently. I used to be, and I'm you know, I used to be really quite open in terms of my presentation to other people, in terms of who I am as an individual. You can't do that anymore. You can't do that anymore because, you know, you present yourself in a open way these days, you're actually bringing temptation from another into your life on the basis of envy, on the basis of you might be good looking, handsome, you might be pretty, you might drive a particularly nice car, you might live in a nice house in a nice area. And although these sort of things are available to all, depending on your outlook in life, some people just see it as envy. Why have you got that and I haven't? Somebody in my circle as a child says to me, how come? And this is the only thing that I can actually say this person was honest about. How come, he says, you have an arch in your feet and I haven't? That's envy. This person was flat-footed, is flat-footed. And you know, I'd forgotten that for years, and I must have been about 7 years old. I've never recalled that situation until my awakening, until I was actually assisted to look at my outgoing, my behaviour, being open towards others, and how harm could actually be brought back to me in terms of my innocence. This was brought back into my mind. I'm getting upset actually. This has been, 60 years ago. I have not thought about that for 60 years. And it was just brought back. It was brought back into my mind. This is the awakening. It is absolutely difficult process to go through because it's not just 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. This is now for the rest of my life. I will be in the awakening process. The awakening process brought this back into my mind 60 years ago. The awakening process makes you analyze yourself in the most positive way ever. But the awakening process is challenging and it is overwhelming. It takes up a lot of time. And if you're strong enough, you will get through it. You will get through it. So, energetic energy. So the next one I've got is future cast energy. So that is about my purpose, where I'm going, my purpose in terms of my forecast, where I want to be, perhaps in the next 5 years. So that's future cast energy. Yeah, energetic energy is used, should be used, should I say, in a positive way. But obviously, as above, as below, I suppose. People have different interpretations in terms of who they are and who they present themselves to be, underhandedly, unfortunately. These low density creatures, I shall call them, cockroaches. I'm getting used to that saying. I live in Jamaica and there's a lot of cockroaches around. Literally cockroaches. I don't mean people, I mean cockroaches. My heart, my intended forward movement, again, this is similar to future cast energy, with your different headings, which will then direct you in terms of your energetic energy and where you want that to go, from your heart. Really, your heart has a different function to what we believe in the material world. In the spiritual realm, your heart is the main, although it's the main function on the material world, there are various functions that your heart will undertake energetically. Your heart speaks to you. Your heart gives you loving feelings. So if you ask your heart a question, your heart will answer you with the most beautiful, loving experience. When, when your heart is concerned about you, it will react in a way that your heartbeat slows down, and the beat of it, you can feel the difference in terms of when your heart is giving you good information to when your heart is giving you information that is not too good. Your heart has a complete different function, and it's energetic, on an energetic basis. But the most beautiful, it's even more of a feeling. Okay, you meet somebody, and over a period of time you start to have feelings for this person, and how on a material level, on a 3D level, your heart then gives off a feeling to yourself in terms of how you feel about that particular person. But when your heart communicates with you, it's the feeling of love that your heart presents. It's 100 times more potent than when on a 3D level your heart tells you that you love someone. I can't express that feeling any better than I have done now, but your heart has a different function. On a energetic level, has a different function. My energetic energy is of love for self towards others. You have to be able to love yourself on the notion of on a 3D level and on an energetic level. You have to show yourself love. If you don't show yourself love, how can you then engage in a relationship with another person and expect to give that person love when yourself don't understand love, and certainly you do not show yourself love. This is now going forward. The old process of love is so important in terms of our interaction with other people. Most of us, what we do show as love is competition. It's competition with your friend, competition even with your wife or your girlfriend, or even, to be quite honest with you, your own children. Our interaction with each other is really quite upsetting when you come to think about it. Although we, on a 3D level, we think that we are above board and we are showing each other, look, we're not. We're not. We're on a completely different level to the concept of love compared to here, on a 3D level, to an energetic level. They're completely different. We have to show respect, honesty, integrity in terms of what goes on in our hearts. Without that integrity, that authenticity about who we are in terms of love and projecting that love then onto somebody that we profess to love, has to change. Has to change. Love is our way forward. Love is not on a 3D level. It has to change. It has to become more consistent, more potent, more feelings than what I've expressed. To feel love on an energetic level coming from your heart, I can't say that I've ever felt anything like it. Ever. It's potent. It's amazing. Okay. My last one here is protected energy. It's about protecting yourselves from people who want to harm you on an energetic level. A part of my routine going forward, and this is about me, giving information about me, I would get up in the morning and I would read God's armor from the Bible. And that is potent. It makes you feel protected. Energetic energy, when you start to believe in energetic energy and you say something to yourself like, this is who I'm going to be, and you express that on an energetic level, you can feel what you've said sink into your inner core. You can feel the workings of the energetic energy in terms of what you've said to yourself, in terms of your core, your positiveness about yourself going forward. Energetic energy, people, is real. Without the belief in energetic energy, the awakening process will not work. It will not work. That's the best I can say at this moment in time. At this moment, as I go forward with my own journey in terms of the awakening process, I'm sure that my understanding in terms of energetic energy will develop as I develop within the process as I go along in terms of my journey. At this moment in time, I hope my expression in terms of my understanding now has some help understanding in terms of the listener, in terms of my interpretation. That's me for now. It is now 8:30. The morning sun is out, and even now it is really quite hot, and I'm going to try and go out there and do some weeding in terms of my ginger before midday, when it gets really, really hot and the heat is unbearable. So on the basis of that, I hope what I have expressed has some use to people. Please let me know if you resonate with what I've said. Would be handy. But I'm sure I will come back with an update at some point in time. Thank you.